as you look at it from the distance now, to be able to come back from a 67-point debacle to a 7-point loss is a pretty strong testimony to some character, to some toughness, to some coaching, and some durability by our team and our coaching staff. Pretty proud of us. I think if we can continue to improve at that pace, obviously great things are in store for us. We crossed a threshold this last week in that rather than cashing in for the rest of the year, coming off of something that was really unprecedented in a lot of guys' careers, including mine, I think we've become a good team. I think we've become a team that cares about each other and a team that has some motivation, some toughness to do things right. Quite obviously, our offense is really in a nice rhythm now. And the reason is because we're a veteran wide receiving group that's literally in their 14th or 15th game together, playing together. And while wide receivers seems like a lonely, singly position, it's really a group of receivers that are really, really playing well together. And it was evident on several plays in our passing game in which those guys were blocking for each other downfield. That was really fun to see. And most of the time, you won't find receivers that act like that. The next part, obviously, Kevin Yost simply played is fine a game of quarterback, as he's played since he's been here. He can still play better, but he has really elevated himself to a level that's pretty darn efficient. And then lastly, our offensive line production, which was an issue for us in terms of pass protection, is certainly pretty strong. That's, of course, led by Mark Clampett, whom I consider to be one of the best players I've ever coached. So offensively, we're pretty healthy. Kicking game, we have not allowed a yard in punt return in 2 weeks. Our kick coverage has been pretty darn stellar, even though they brought some deep out of the end zone. But both Brendan Garcia and CJ Reyes have kicked the ball pretty darn well. If we can find some punt return yardage, some better kick return yardage to give ourselves a little bit better field position, we can then attend to the 600-pound gorilla in the room, which is defense and our run defense. And that's the issue. You know, it's been that way since I've been here. It'll continue to be that way until we get a little stronger and able to fight off blocks up front.
You talk about how you simplified the defense from the last game. You still gave up 54 points?
52.
52 points.
Or 50 some.
50.
7 more than we scored.
Yeah. Next week, are you going to have to simplify it even more?
Possibly. Possibly. The first thing that always you have to attend to defensively at this time of the year is your availability. And we're not as available in some spots as I hope we could be, so that will dictate, how we play on defense and what we play on defense. So we're a little jumbled right now. We'll have to just wait and see how that all plays out.
Okay, a player we didn't see on Saturday was Xavier Finney. Can you talk about his absence in that game?
Yeah, he's more available this week than he was at ever before, and he is riding with the twos, and hopefully he'll get some playing time this week.
Okay, and I feel like heading into Northern Colorado, this is a team that you're better than.
Well, I hope, I don't know. Well, we got 3 hours to prove it. And I'll go back even to the last game. 16 times we held them to 2 yards or less defensively. That's not a defense that's getting gashed. That's a defense that's given up some plays later on in the same series. And what we've got to do is put 3 of those plays together and call it a drive and make them punt. And I think that if we, I clipped out all those great plays, and we're going to show them to the defense here tomorrow or this afternoon in meetings. I show them these are the plays you played that were just perfect, including a 4th down stop in the middle of the field. We're certainly capable. I feel like the major issues for us are the coaching trend, the coaching communication to the guys that are on the field, particularly at safety. We must play better at safety so we cover up the mistakes or the inefficiencies of the front, and I certainly know we can do that. Phil Pleasant had 24 tackles, yet had too many critical errors. Cameron Gupton had more critical errors than any player that we've coached in a long time, yet he's going back on the field on Saturday, and hope that we will do a better job of coaching him so we can make better use of his ability. So physically, we might be as good as anybody we play the rest of the year, including Northern Colorado. On offense, we're right about where I want us to be. Defensively, though, man, we have got to find a way to put the needle in the groove all over the place at every single position.
If you said that the run defense was a 600-pound elephant in the room, then your road record is probably a 1,000-pound elephant in this room?
To me, that's just the road record is just it's a trivial, it's total trivia, in that you can't win on the road unless you're good enough to win on the road. We don't want to get lucky and win one and eke one out. Until we're good enough, man, we might not be able to win at home. And that run defense will cure a lot of that. A lot of that will come as we do a better job of coaching the guys that are here. And certainly if we can take those 16 plays and put them in the water and watch them blossom into a big plant, and we can be good enough defensively right now with the guys that are here right now if we coach them better. And that's my real point. My point is that upstairs about 100 feet from us is a defensive staff that is learning how hard they have to coach their guys and how well they have to coach their guys, because 16 plays out of 90 plays is not enough. We want to play good on defense 91 plays out of 92 plays. And that's my point. My point is I don't look at this as a player or a personnel issue. I look at it as a coaching staff issue. That begins with our head coach, our defensive coordinator, our defensive play caller, and our defensive position coaches in that order. And I think we are more capable than what we were playing. I've got to find the secrets to success to get those guys to play the way they played on those other 16 plays.
Coach, speaking of coaching, I noticed one time on the sideline after a blown coverage that ended up in a touchdown, I looked down and you were just talking to the guys where, a lot of other coaches, you would expect to just yell at them. How important are those teaching moments in the game where you can just talk to the guys and say, this is what needs to change here?
I get paid a lot of money to make sure that they know how to play that way. I think that's the point. The point is that I'm a professional and I'm a good teacher, and a good teacher has your students learn. I mean, I'm as good a U.S. history teacher as there is. I can teach you guys about anything you want U.S. history-wise. I feel like I'm the same way defensively. And the fundamentals of footwork, pad level, and finish are there. But when you're playing man coverage and you don't cover your man, that's about as elementary as it gets. And when we turn the tight end loose on an over route on the goal line in man coverage, I've already pulled my hair out. So it's literally, we are that close to be able to turn this thing around defensively. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to say that we're not physical. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to say that we don't have enough good players defensively. I want to hear that we're doing a great job coaching our guys to play the way they're capable of playing. And a famous coach said it: simple is fast and speed kills. And we have got to be simple enough so that our guys don't make errors, so that they can play fast and get a stop.
There was a lot of improvement though in the 2 weeks. What's it going to take that next step this week against Colorado?
Probably the same amount of quantum improvement we made from Portland State through Cal Davis. We need to make that much improvement. Statistically, it didn't feel like improvement, but we know 91 plays. They didn't run 91 plays because our offense was turning the ball over. They were earning it. They were chipping away at us, and then get a longer play and chip away at us. They had some long, great drives. Their offensive line essentially manhandled us in the front, but not on every play. There were several plays in the game in which we manhandled their front and made plays. The first play of the game started off with a -1, and we didn't run a blitz or a twist or didn't do anything sneaky or tricky. We just played our position and played it right. And came back on the next play and made a tackle for a gain of 1, and now it's 3rd down and 10, and then couldn't get off the field because they ran the ball for a gain of 13, or got gain of 13. So again, 2 out of 3 is not good. It's like a pitcher. 2 out of 3 strikes is not good if that 3rd strike goes out of the yard, and that's we got to finish. I love it being the playoffs in baseball. We got to finish facing the batter. And to me, that's like being a pitcher.
What do you expect from Northern Colorado this week?
Northern Colorado in their last 3 games has thrown the ball 71% of the time. I expect them to try and throw the ball to South Lobato. They would love to run the ball a little bit more, and maybe they look at us and go, all right, we can get healthy in our run game. And we know that our run game is our Achilles heel, and it's not our run defense, it's how we play throughout the game against run defense. We understand that. And so I think that the test will be Not our offense versus their defense. Not our kicking game versus their kicking game. Not their passing game against our pass defense. It'll be their run game against our run defense. To me, that's worth the price of the ticket on Saturday.
So, how are the guys responded in practice so far as being able to stop the run?
Well, we're if you've looked at your depth chart, or if you've looked at your depth chart today, there are guys that are in a certain color that are standing by me during practice, and so we've got to kind of wait for them to become more available to see how it's going to play out on Saturday. Those guys are everybody that's on that depth chart is expected, except if they're in gray, is expected to travel and play and be ready to play.
How's having Tyson back this week and help the defense?
Well, he's a good tackler. In his stead, Phil Pleasant had 24 tackles. That's a good. That's a good thing for him to try and climb to. I imagine we would try to play Phil and Cameron and Tyson, all three in some sort of rotation at safety. Literally speaking, we have to be better at safety than we've been every game since I've been here. We have to be more aggressive and come up with big plays and big stops.
Saw Kevin Yost scramble for a lot of yards in that Saturday game. Is that something we encourage? Is that something you implemented?
Yes, and we want him to be smart. And he's not going to beat a lot of people in a 40-yard dash. He might beat me, and I might be the only guy he can beat. But we want him to run, and we want him to run effective. We want him to be elusive in the pocket, keeping his passing grip. And when he goes upfield for the first down, know where the sticks are, so he can get to the first down and get down. Kevin's running ability last Saturday was key for us to be able to extend some drives. But overall, that's just part of the efficiency of the position. Tom Brady ran a 5.4, and literally was a free agent in today's draft. He's a free agent. He's the best quarterback in the world, or one of the best quarterbacks in the world. And he's not going to beat anybody in a foot race. So you have to know when to run, how to run, when to run, and when to get down. And Kevin, after all these starts now, is really playing the position the way Don Bailey wants him to play. Now, I'm pretty proud of him.
I saw him juke somebody. He does have some moves.
Yeah, that's why he wears a knee brace on his front knee. He might juke himself out of his own knee. But yeah, he's not a slug. That's what we'd say. He's not a slug. He's not going to just stand back there and be a statue. He's got some elusiveness. More importantly, he's playing with quiet confidence. And as a quarterback, if the rush is going by you and it's open, now you can step up with your passing grip and dump the ball, or you can run, get a few more yards, and you have a positive play. No negative plays, especially in the red zone. And that was the key for us last week. Only 3 sacks, and I think if you do a statistical analysis of us from last season to this season, we said before the year we have to be way better in pass protection. Well, that's a combination of routes, receivers, offensive line. We're way better. Now the big issue is that gorilla, and we gotta keep working on that gorilla.
Do you have a goal set in mind, say, for this weekend to give up rushing yards X amount? I want no more than this. I mean, do you tell those guys?
Yeah, we don't want to give them an inch. Every play, every time they run the ball, there's a reason. There's a guy that's supposed to be with the running back at least at the line of scrimmage and make the play. They should not gain an inch. That's how I feel about every single running play. There have been times in my career when we've been able to stand there and say they didn't gain an inch, and that's on the first play of the game on Saturday, and then on the second play of the game, after 2 running plays. And we're going to give up 600 yards on Saturday, right? 633. And after 2 plays, they had 0 yards rushing.
Right.
And they ran the ball twice at their tight end. We could play that way on every play.
Right.
Good. Anything else for Coach?
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.